We've talked a lot about these tire inflators here on this YouTube channel, guys. Fanttik ends up being one of my favorite actual providers for battery jump starters, battery powered vacuums, and in this case, battery powered tire inflators. This is the Fanttik X8. We've reviewed this on the channel before. It's really great for topping off your tires, filling up basketballs, footballs, that kind of thing. But Fanttik just sent me one of their brand new products, and it is this guy's big brother. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for pressing play. As you saw there in the beginning, guys, we are going to be talking about some more Fanttik products today. So we've talked about a couple of their tire inflators on the channel. We've talked about a couple of their battery jump start packs. We've talked about a couple of their vacuum cleaners, all of which have gotten absolutely awesome remarks from me because they are really good products. Well, about 3 weeks ago, I had Fanttik reach out to me again and ask me to review another one of their tire inflators. And I said, okay, why is this one different? Instead of telling you about it, let me show you. And here it is. So this is the Fanttik X9 Ultra. So the little one I showed you earlier was the Fanttik X8. This is the X9, and for size here, that's my hand, it is a pretty big boy. Now, why this one is different? Lots of reasons, but let's start at the top. So first off, it is, like I said, the X9 Ultra. If we spin it around the back here, we have the ports for charging the device, as well as an actual quick charge output, and an even better one at 65 watts. So you could literally charge your laptops, your battery jump packs from them if you wanted to, however it is you want to do it. But what makes this thing really cool is the way it's set up. So basically, it is a tire inflator. So you have your options for inflating tires, inflating rafts, for your pools, inflating footballs, all the other stuff that the little one does as well. But this one is actually way more capable of inflating your car tires. And we're going to show exactly how much more capable it is in this video because one of the cars I own needs some air in their tires. We're going to compare this one to the smaller X8 and see exactly why this one is better for that kind of thing. Before we do, let's talk a little bit more about the specifics of this guy. Oddly enough, on the bottom is where we find some of the more interesting parts of this. So right off the bat, we have pretty thick rubber isolator feet here. So what this is going to do is help knock down the noise that this thing makes, because at the end of the day, it is a compressor, so it's going to make some noise. But inside this little compartment right here is where you're going to find all of your real interesting things like your football needles, your attachments to blow up rafts, and all that stuff. Today, we don't need any of that, but just know it is included. Aside from that is the attached, of course, tire inflator hose, which will actually screw right onto the end of your Schrader valve tire stem, but it is tucked away in a way that doesn't need to be removed every time like it does on the X8. So this is kind of in device. You don't have to worry about removing it and storing it anywhere separate from the unit itself. Now, another one of the things that makes this one different is the fact that it is a 92.5 watt hour. So obviously the unit's pretty big. It's about, I don't know, about 75% the size of a car battery, but 92 watt hours makes it so you're going to inflate a lot of tires with this thing, like a lot of tires. But that also gives it the power to inflate bigger tires. So obviously if you have a truck like I do, or if you have a couple cars that you need to get done at the same time, you can do that with this one because it does have the power to do so. Whereas the smaller unit is really more for just topping off your tires and blowing up footballs and stuff like that. All right, so for today, we're going to start with the car that I know needs some pressure in its tires, and that is the Cadillac XT5. So go ahead and open this up. For those of you who don't know, you can actually find your tire pressures on the inside of your door jamb on pretty much any car you own. This one says it is supposed to be at 36 PSI. I know these are low, so let's go ahead and fill them up. Now, the biggest benefit with both of these units is it will, once you screw on the tire inflator hose, it will actually show you what the current pressure is in the tires. And once you set what you want the pressure to be, it will build it up to that point and then immediately shut off. So we're going to time both of them because these tires should be pretty much about the same PSI. And obviously, we're going to see which one gets it done first. Now, I already know, because I've been testing this unit for about 3 weeks, but I want to show it on camera, that it will do the tire quicker than the X8 does, even though we're only filling up about 5 or so PSI on these guys. So nothing huge, nothing major, but still it's going to do it faster, and it's actually going to do it quieter. To ensure this thing is fair, we're going to go ahead and test the PSI in both the front and rear tire just to make sure we're roughly the same. 30.7 in the rear. And in the front, we are 29.9. So we'll let a little bit out of the rear just to make it the same 29.9. And there it is. So both tires are 29.9. We're going to inflate both of them to 36. And we'll see which one does it faster and quieter, like I said. One other interesting feature of the X9 I wanted to talk about real quick before we go out there is the lights. Because of the size of this unit, you can actually set it down on the ground while it's pumping your tires up. And if we turn it on, number one, we have a nice LED output here on the screen. But if we hit the button here for the flashlight, you can see it's basically going to shine right onto the tire, which is really useful because obviously you kind of need your hands for other things. But you have a warm, probably 3,500 or so glow here. And then if you hit the button again, it actually turns it to more of a cool 5,000 or so output. And then if you press it one more time, it actually flashes. So you can be seen on the side of the road in rainy situations and stuff like that. Ultimately here, we're going to bump this up to 36 PSI. That's our target output. This will read what the input is once we put the hose on the actual tire. That's pretty much the setup here. Now, if you're familiar with the X8, you'll realize that output, the screen here, is pretty much identical. So all of Fanttik's stuff stays pretty much the same as far as that's concerned to maintain the similar experience throughout. Now, another area of interest here is my Pancake 100 PSI air compressor. What really surprised me about this is that it actually takes longer for that air compressor to fill up with enough air to actually air up a tire than it does to just use the electric one. So yeah, needless to say, I'm not going to be using the actual air compressor anymore because I don't really need it. I bought the compact or Pancake version of the air compressor originally to do nothing but air up tires because there wasn't really an electronic version out that could keep up with it. But now the X9 is it. I literally have no use for the compact air compressor anymore. With battery tools the way that they are nowadays, my Milwaukee fuel stuff, it actually breaks bolts loose quicker than most of the air compressor tools do anyway. So it seems like battery powered it is for the tools at least. So we are going to start with the X9 Ultra here. One of the biggest things to note about this is just how long the hose is, because you can leave that thing sit on the ground while this connects to this area here. You'll see with the X8, the hose ends up being a little bit too short. So this is kind of a great thing just in itself. Anyway, let's go ahead and turn on the unit. Press and hold the power button. As you can see, even out in the daylight, it is really easy to read that display. We'll bump it up again to 36 PSI. Go ahead and screw this in. And as you can see on the display unit here, it is reading the 29.5 because it goes up in increments of 5. So that will show us exactly what's in the tire, and then we'll go ahead and hit the button to start as soon as I grab my phone to time this to see how quick it gets up to 36. Now, before I actually hit start here, I want you guys to listen to how loud it is as well, because the smaller unit is quite a bit louder. So all you gotta do is to start it is hit this power button, just press it real quick. So I'm gonna press that and then I'm gonna hit start, try at the same time here. Ready? Go. And you can see there, it stops at 36 because that was the target, and a little fan runs inside for a second. I would imagine that's going to run longer depending on how much that has to pump. This was only about a 6 to 7 PSI, so not anything too crazy, but if you heard the volume there, and the fact it only took 13 seconds, it's pretty impressive. So let's see what the smaller unit will do, because that's the one I know a lot of you guys bought after I did the video on it initially, and it still is a great option, especially because of its portable size. But if you want something to replace your traditional compressor air pump style thing, this is probably the one, especially if you need to fill large tires. So if you're going camping or if you have a truck, this is going to be your best bet. And the best part of this thing is actually the price, because normally it's $200, but Fanttik gave me the best discount that they've offered yet on this device, because it's going to take it down to $139. Yeah, $139. Check out the link in the description down below. I'll pin it as the first comment as well. And yeah, 139 bucks for something like this. This thing is better than, literally better than the compressor that I have. And the air compressor that I have, that I spent probably $200, $300 on, it takes longer to fill. Then after you fill it, you have to go around, obviously, and put air in each tire. And I have never had that thing on one fill be able to fill up all 4 tires, regardless of how much air I'm putting in it. I always seem to have to stop after 2 or 3 tires and get the pump running again to refill it. This is way faster. And again, after we're done, guys, all you gotta do is just take the unit, flip it upside down. You can actually wrap the hose back inside of it. So you don't have to find anywhere special to store any of this stuff. And that's it. We are now ready to go. And just as a quick mention here, guys, obviously we only filled up 6 or 7 PSI, but I filled up my wife's Cadillac wheels about 3 days ago from 29 up to 45 PSI, I believe it was, all 4 of them. I've topped off my truck and my Corvette just recently with this, and this thing is still showing a full charge. So big props to this big boy. Okay, so now the front wheel. This little device here shows the same information. It shows that the tire PSI is currently at 29 and that we want it at 36. So listen to how much louder this is, and we're gonna also time it. This one's gonna be a little harder to start on camera, so you guys are just gonna have to trust me. So about 2 minutes and 47 seconds or so. This one is significantly slower. I did actually not think it was going to be that much slower. Now, one thing to keep in mind here, guys, is this thing is quite a bit smaller than the other version that we were using. This device is really more so suited for filling footballs and stuff like that. To fill an actual car tire takes a little bit more juice, and that's what the bigger one's good at. So if you want to fill footballs, pool toys, and like bicycle tires, this thing is good. Now this is good in a pinch as well. Obviously it will fill a car tire, but it just takes a good bit longer. So it really depends on what you want to do with these things. Now, both of these devices, like I said, they have their place. I'm still impressed with this thing for the size of it, what it can do. But if you want to make this quick work, this is not necessarily your tool. If you want something super portable, this is your guy. So the X9 is really the tool that's going to replace your air compressor, which is insane to say. But there you have it, guys. The Fanttik X9 Ultra. Yeah, like I said, $139 with the discount code. Check out the description down below. Get one of these for yourself. This is a perfect garage add-on, something that you will be able to fill up a bunch of tires with before you even have to worry about charging it. Whereas this unit over here, more so for portable functionality, but at the same time has its place. Still a good unit, just nothing. At this point, nothing's going to dethrone this guy. 13 seconds to fill up about 6 or 7 PSI worth of air. It would have taken that long just to get my compressor plugged in to start filling. So, yeah. This thing, big thumbs up for me, guys. Check it out in the description down below. But anyway, guys, that is going to do it for today's video. So if you liked this particular product review, smash the thumbs up button. Let me know you're liking the content. I love bringing this kind of stuff to you guys because these little gadgets, these little things that help make life a little bit easier whenever you're a car guy, I just love them. So as much as I love them, hopefully you guys are loving it the same amount. Let me know by hitting that thumbs up, of course. Subscribe if you haven't yet, guys. And as always, stay obsessed.